In this video, I'm going to teach you how to banish bad stock photos from your brand forever. My name is Kaye Putnam. I'm the psychology-driven brand strategist. So excited that you're here. I help entrepreneurs change the world with what they know. We do this by discovering their innate brand advantage so that they can grow their business and impact more people. Click that subscribe button, press like. Let's do this. The bad stock photos are taking over the internet, but thankfully, you do not need to be afflicted from this dangerously brand-killing disease. Okay, so maybe it's not quite that dramatic, but really it is. Oh, there's just like nothing worse than a really bad stock photo, and it just doesn't have to be that way. I'm going to give you the do's and the don'ts for choosing stock photos, where to use them, and then I have a free resource below this video of all of my favorite paid and free places to find non-sucky stock images. All right, before we get into the do's and the don'ts, let me just acknowledge the fact that if you can afford it, and if you have the time and the resources, custom photography is always better for two reasons. One, it's completely custom to your brand. You have the ability to control what's in the shoot, like what the model looks like that's representing you, if that's you, if that's somebody else, the product placement, all of that good stuff. And then nobody else has those images, so it's completely unique to you as well. Custom and unique is always better. But for most of my clients, we don't have the resources to like do this massive shoot with 10 different models. So choosing stock images, as long as you choose them well, is a really good way to leverage your time. Why not use the talented work of other people if it's going to help build your brand? Let's start with the don'ts. One of the most common mistakes that I see people making is that they choose photos that show either the pain or the process of working with them instead of the outcome. So say you're a chiropractor, this is kind of easy on the health side of things. You don't want to show people like, oh, in back pain, or like on the sidelines, not being able to pick up softball or whatever it is. Like, you don't want to show like the picture of the spine or even somebody getting adjusted. These aren't the things that are going to connect with people on an emotional level. They're actually going to turn people away because you're giving them a negative association with your brand instead of the positive association. So we'll talk more about the positive piece on the do side, but for don'ts, don't just show, I don't know, people doing paperwork or whatever the process of working with you or buying your product is. Similarly, cheesy like vector concept photos are equally as bad. So like I said, like the spine picture that has like the red inflamed spot that shows where the pain is, that's not super effective. I mean, every chiropractor doesn't need to have a spine in their logo either. All right, I'll stop picking on the chiropractors, but let's do another example. So say you sell something like art. So there's not like a clear pain piece here, but you don't have to necessarily show in your stock images like blank walls. That's the before, or that's the process that people are in before they buy art. You want to actually show the after. Or for weight loss, seeing somebody who's chubby, who feels uncomfortable in their skin or uncomfortable in their clothes, that's not what's going to motivate us to action. We don't want to see the person sitting on the couch. We want to see the person running the marathon. Okay, back to the cheesy concept. So for like realtors, when they have like these little like miniature houses that they're like holding in their palms, because apparently we have to show people like what we're offering them in this like computer generated graphic, or like even handing over the keys can be like really cheesy. So anything that's like, showing this process when you have like a word cloud of all of the things that you do, like social media, Facebook, Pinterest, whatever. Like, you don't need to be so literal. You can Be more aspirational in your photos. Don't use those cheesy concept photos where somebody's like hiking up a pie chart, like a graph, to get to business profits, whatever it is. Okay, I think I've beat that one to death. Next are models doing very unlifelike things. So it's like a group of multicultural people in business suits all giving you a thumbs up with a big smile on their face. Stay away from those. Or I love this one because I actually used it on my first website and I have kept it around my computer for whatever reason, but like two women in business suit, like suit skirts, whatever they're called, a business suit with a skirt at a starting line, getting ready to run a sprint race. Like, these things don't happen in real life, people. Do not use images. It's so cheesy, so cheesy. And I've used these ones more often, but I would even venture to say like the business owner that's like arms crossed in front of their place of business with a big, grin on their face looking directly at the camera. Use in very, very rare, like use like maybe a little salt on top of your images. It's much better to do something else, which I'll cover in the do list. Lastly, I want to encourage you not to only use free images. Yes, I know, it's like one more thing to spend money on, but your images literally, I mean, cliche as it is, they speak 1,000 words for you. So if you have stock photos, especially in high VIP areas like on your website, it makes sense to pick some, or like just to invest a little bit of money so that you're using higher quality, less common images. All right, now that we covered all of the don'ts, let's talk about the do's. And some of these you probably have already guessed based on the don'ts, but let's show the outcome of using your product or service. So if you are teaching people how to build stronger relationships, so show people in relationships that are happy and overjoyed and holding hands and smooching. Or if you're showing people how to grow a business, show them like speaking on stage, or like, I don't know, happy in their work, happy, content people working. If you're teaching them how to be fit, show the end result. It's also effective to use less obvious metaphors or more like scene setting images. So I have a client, for example, who is a leadership consultant. He's an executive coach, and he's helping CEOs and C-suite level people define what their frontier is. So frontiers are the places where business is changing really dramatically, and these people have to lead into this dramatic change. So instead of just showing business people, let's actually show a picture of like the American frontier to make that emotional connection in people's minds. Also, another thing to keep in mind as you're selecting, be cognizant, make sure that you're showing your ideal client. So much of the stock images that are available are like young, 20-something white people. And if that's not your entire audience, make sure that you're also showing who you're serving. So show people that are older, show people that are different races. You don't have to show them all in one photo, like the cheesy, like thumbs up business photo that we see so often, but show people that are diverse and that represent kind of the total picture of your ideal clients. And if you don't serve 20-year-olds, don't show pictures of them, because people are going to make the association. They're going to be looking for people that look like them, or maybe like a little bit better than them. So if you're showing people that they can't relate with, they're going to have a dissonance between themselves and your brand. And then also be willing to pay. The best photographers are uploading their work to places that compensate them for their talent and for their time, with a few exceptions. Like I said, there's a resource below this video where I share some of my favorite paid options and then also some of my favorite free options, but those are few and farther between. And the really good free work you'll see more often, like you see on more websites, because people are snatching them up. So if you want to be more unique, definitely be willing to pay a little bit for some of your stock images. One of the things that I do with all of my clients, and then I encourage my students to do as well, like in my brand new brand program, is that we actually create a bank of, or like a collection of images that are on brand for you. So if you do the work in batch, like you spend time on some of these different photo websites, create collections so that you can come back and you can actually purchase the image or download the image whenever you're ready to. It removes this like need to source the perfect image every single time you're publishing a blog post. You have a bank of them that you can pull from. It's one of the biggest time savers ever. And you can use these stock images that you've collected in, say, like your lead magnet design on your website, like on the actual web pages. I use them a lot in social media, or like when I'm publishing a blog post. You can also do something like adding text to your images or adding, cropping them in different ways, but think about ways that you can customize the image so that it fits your brand exactly the way you want it to. All right, happy hunting when it comes to finding all of these amazing stock images for your brand. If you're wondering, yes, I am totally wearing Mickey Mouse, repping the Disney today. All right, comment below if I don't share your favorite stock photo resource in the free download that I link to. Comment below with your favorite. Share the wealth.